Hello and welcome to my video on ERAS, the Electronic Residency Application System. I have created this video to share my experience applying with ERAS for residency. I hope this helps others who will be making their residency application. If you are applying for emergency medicine or urology or military service, there are specific guidelines which I will not cover in this video. Please check ERAS, ECFMG or AAMC. So in my video, I will cover a little bit about my background, a timeline of important dates, anticipated costs, some recommendations from my experience. So starting with my background, I am a non-US IMG from the UK who graduated from medical school in 2016. I applied in the 2020 season and matched successfully. In terms of my strengths, I had above average step scores in Step 1 and Step 2 CK. I had letters of recommendations from the specialty I applied for, and 2 of those were from the USA. I also had research and volunteer experience. In terms of my weaknesses, I did not have my ECFMG certificate when I submitted my application. I will talk to you more about this later. Some of my friends had warned me that if you don't have your ECFMG certificate when submitting your application, a lot of programs may not consider reviewing your application. Another weakness I felt I could have improved on was having more US clinical experience. So what does it mean to be ECFMG certified? So to meet the requirements to be ECFMG certified, firstly, your medical school should be listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools. If you've taken any of the STEP exams, it most likely means that your medical school meets the requirements. The second requirement is the examination one. Here you need to have passed Step 1, Step 2 CK and Step 2 CS. The trouble with my application was that I was not able to schedule Step 2 CS when I wanted to, and as a result there was a delay in my scheduling and a delay in my Step 2 CS being reporting, and consequently a delay in my ECFMG certificate. So my advice to those who are applying would be to really consider booking your Step 2 CS exam early, and keep in mind that the slots get taken up fast, sometimes even 4 or 5 months in advance, even 6 months in advance. And also keep in mind that the Step 2 CS exam takes a longer time to report compared to Step 1 and Step 2 CK. This shows a snapshot of the dashboard, which you will become very familiar with when you apply. It shows the application, the documents, and the programs you've applied to. Now I'm going to talk to you about a timeline of the important dates. Now the dates I'm using in this video are for the application cycle 2021. However, the deadlines are quite similar every year, and of note, the deadlines in the 2021 cycle are a little bit later due to COVID-19. So in June, on the 8th in 2020, the ERAS application registration begins. IMGs can pay for ERAS token. This is a one-time unique access code provided to applicants which grants access to register for the residency application process on My ERAS. Once you have registered, I would highly advise you become familiar with the dashboard and start working on the different components that make up your application. Start working on researching programs, start contacting your letter of recommendation authors, start drafting your personal statement, start completing your work, research and volunteer sections, upload a professional photo, contact your medical school to get a MSPE, which is your medical school performance evaluation. If you are an IMG, upload your medical school transcript. Once you have done these, you will notice that on your dashboard it shows uploaded. Sometimes it takes a few working days for this to become active on your My ERAS dashboard, so keep that in mind as well. Then in September this year, you will be able to submit your ERAS application. In October, ERAS will release your medical school performance valuation, and that is when the programs will be able to review your application. Then in the next few months is the interview season, and programs will start inviting you for an interview anywhere from late October, to end of January and early February. And in January is the registration for registering to the NRMP, which is the National Resident Matching Program. And if you register beyond this date, the fees increase. In February, you are able to start ranking the programs you have interviewed at. The deadline to submit your rank order list, which is the programs you have been interviewed at, and those who also participate in the NRMP, to rank them. On March 15th, you will receive an email or a notification which will tell you if you have matched into a program. This will be followed by SOAP, which is a supplemental offer and acceptance program. And on 19th of March, you will find out which program you have matched into if you have matched successfully. This is typically known as Match Week. Following your match week, you will have time to work on administrative tasks. If you are an IMG who requires a visa, this will be time for doing your admin, such as getting sponsored by the ECFMG, getting documents, and making an appointment with the US Embassy. In late June, most programs start the induction and orientation, and in July you will start your residency. I'm now going to share with you my costs. Of course, the costs will depend on how many programs you apply for and how many programs you get invited to interview and decide to interview at. If you have any friends or family you can stay with during the interview trail, it would be highly recommended, as you will save a lot of money. So the first cost during the application will be your ERAS token. This cost me $130 and is necessary for creating the application. Then the ERAS application itself. This depends, like I said, on how many programs you apply for, and on my next slide I will go into more detail. There's also a one-time exam fee of $80. I paid $85 to register with NRMP. The interview trail was the most expensive part of my application, so this includes flights from your home country to America, flights between different interviews and travel, accommodation pre and post interview, taxis between accommodation, and other things like getting professional clothing, getting a haircut, and food. And then there are some costs specific to your background. If you're an IMG who requires a visa sponsorship, you will be required to pay for your sponsorship fee, a service fee, which is the Student Exchange Visitor Program fee, and the fee for an appointment with the US Embassy. This slide shows you how the total cost of your residency application on ERAS is generated, and like I said, it depends on how many programs you apply for. So up to the 10 programs, the total cost is $99, and then for each program from 11 to 20 programs is $15 each, and then increases to $19, and then any programs above 31 is $26 for each program that you apply to, plus the one-time exam fee of $80. So I applied to 62 programs, and this was my fee. Now I'm going to talk to you about some recommendations from my own experience. Letter of recommendations. Please reach out to your authors early. Include in your email the experiences you have enjoyed, as well as experiences displaying some of your strengths and weaknesses that you would like to be included in your LOR. Choose to not see your LOI if possible. This has two benefits. The author can write freely, and the programs feel confident that the LOR author has given an honest reflection of you. Personal statement, do it yourself or DIY. Of course, you can show to people who you feel would give you constructive feedback, but it should come from yourself. Try and be ECFMG certified when submitting an application. As mentioned before, it can be difficult getting an interview, especially as an IMG if you have not got your ECFMG certificate book your CS exam early or any exams early so that you have your ECFMG certificate when applying. Number 4, communicate through your network. From your US clinical experiences, you would have come across attendings, fellows, and residents. If these people have had a chance to know you well, then ask them if they would be comfortable to put in a good word for you at the program you are interested in. Of course, it is perfectly okay for them to say no. The more US clinical experience you have, the better chances you will have of connecting and being recognized from the thousands of applicants each program receives. And number 5, practice interviews. Just do it. Now I'm going to go on to don'ts. Don't be unprofessional when it comes to replying to emails, calls, or contacting your program. Check your mail regularly, be prompt, and give as much notice as possible if your plans change that affects an interview date. Keep in mind, program directors and program coordinators will be receiving a lot of emails during the interview season. Don't rely on one website alone. Do your own research too. I used Frida, a free residency program database, which was good for getting an overview of the programs, but I also checked the website of each program I was interested in to see if they have any specific requirements for IMGs. For example, some programs required a minimum of 6 months US clinical experience or a year of graduation no later than 2 years from application. I also used matcharesident.com to look at some of the guidance for IMGs. I didn't use their database and I didn't pay for their service, but I used the guidance they have, which is available free on their website. Don't rush your application. There are a lot of sections and lots of components that require other individuals to complete, for example, the LORs or the MSPE. Start early and stay on top of it. You've worked so hard to get to this stage, keep going. Don't lie on your application. You're asked to sign a declaration to confirm everything on the application is true when you submit it. This also links to being professional and giving a true reflection of who you are and what you have to offer, not who you are not. And finally, don't worry. I found this algorithm very useful. Do you have a problem? If not, then don't worry. Do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? No. Then don't worry. Do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes. Then don't worry. Thank you for reaching this far. I've shared in this video my background, being a non-US IMG who matched successfully in 2020 season, a timeline of important dates and what to be working on along the application season, costs of my application from ERAS token to interview trails to visas, and finally, I gave my recommendations on do's and don'ts. If you like this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, and please comment below on what content you would like to see more of. If you didn't like the video, please let me know why below. Peace, good luck with the application.